If you are always on the hunt for the next best diet and are confused by all the choices out there, this video is for you. So, do you follow what we call the squirrel diet? Constantly being distracted, thinking, oh, maybe this is the right one for me. Maybe that's the right diet for me, the one that's finally going to work for you. Well, we want you to stop that right now, and we encourage you to take a more holistic approach. First off, let's talk about the verbiage. The word diet, in and of itself, is really just about the food you eat from day to day. But it takes on a whole other meaning when applied to weight loss, right? This is the diet term we have an issue with. So there's kind of two definitions for diet. One is the kind of foods that a person, animal, or community habitually eats. There's no emotion connected to it. There's nothing negative, nothing positive. It's just, it is what it is. And then there's the diet, which is a special course of food to which one restricts oneself, either to lose weight or for medical reasons. And this one comes with a more negative or restrictive type feeling. In that vein, we have an announcement for you. We've decided to reclaim the first definition when referring to the word diet. So basically, a diet is the way a person eats or an eating plan. And in order to find what's going to work for you to help you lose weight, feel good in your body, and keep you healthy and energized, we have found over the years that there are really 3 essential criteria to take into account. And by embracing our 3 criteria, you gain awareness for a clear path forward to losing weight and staying healthy forever. So keep in mind, these criteria will apply whether you follow a more vegan lifestyle or whether you eat meat. So no worries there. You'll be able to declutter your bookshelf of all the diet books and free up your inbox, your time, and all that space in your mind that has been wasted on figuring out what is the next best thing. Doesn't that sound amazing? For the best wellness and weight loss advice for women over 50, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to be notified when we post a new video. So we are big picture thinkers, and when we step back and look at what is really necessary for a nourishing diet, these are the 3 criteria to pay close attention to.
Okay, criteria number 1 is that it must be sustainable. This has to work with your lifestyle and it has to allow for wiggle room for things like special occasions or outings. We personally see these events as part of the big picture and they don't or shouldn't need to throw you completely off track. A diet, as in the definition of restriction, with very hard and strict rules or something that cuts calories too much and you always have to rely on buying special shakes or food and you're hungry all the time and you're cranky, be totally honest with yourself. Is this something you can see doing long term? Is this something you can see doing for the rest of your life? It's so important to ask yourself this question. Am I looking for a short term fix or can I see doing this long term? Keep in mind, short term fixes bring short term results. So definitely question the sustainability factor. We compare it to the hare versus tortoise. And inevitably, 99% of the time, the tortoise takes his time and wins the race because it's a little bit more of a marathon than a sprint. You get these habits down, you get these changes down once and for all, and you never have to do it again. No more bouncing around. Look at sustainability. It's really, really important. Okay, the second criteria is it has to take nutrition into account. Clearly, as nutritionists, we're going to advocate for an eating plan or diet that is healthy, absolutely. Again, it can be tempting to just focus on weight loss, right? You miss the big picture though if that's the only criteria that you're using. So let's, for fun, go back to the diet definition again and think about animals. Think about dogs. Those of you who have dogs, cats, gerbils, rabbits, whatever. When you go to the pet store, what do you buy? You don't buy rabbit food for a dog or bird food for your gerbil. You buy the appropriate food for the animal that you have. And otherwise, if you're going to feed them something different, they're going to get sick. So think about the humans and what we need to thrive and survive. We have to eat foods that are real foods, whole foods that our human bodies recognize. Whether you subscribe to something that's more paleo or more vegan, we're still looking at real whole foods. And that's the bottom line, things that are not ultra processed. This will also help prevent issues associated with aging that are growing concerns as we enter into our second half of life. Things like osteoporosis and heart disease, blood sugar imbalances, diabetes, and also thinking about supporting our brain health and preserving our memory. This is so important. Nutrition is key. So think about programs like Nutrisystem or Jenny Craig that slash calories. They're filled with processed foods and a lot of chemicals. Yes, it's tempting. They can get the weight off short term and quickly. However, they leave you in the lurch as far as nourishing your body and offering you quality calories that are going to provide all those amazing benefits that I just talked about. So if you've done programs like this before, think about it. What were the results? How did they work out? So your goal may not have been to do these long term. They don't teach you how to really sustain good eating habits for life with real food that you encounter every day. It's a crutch. So then you're left right back where you started from, and you can easily go back, many women do, to their old eating habits because they don't really learn how to do it in a sustainable way. So, with that in mind, it's so important, especially at this stage in our lives, to look for something that offers balanced meals that meet your needs for proteins and fats and carbohydrates. And the proteins, by the way, are extra important at this stage of life. They're higher after menopause. And of course, you want good fiber and something that's free of most chemicals and sugars. These are the foods that are going to make us feel good, right? They're going to boost your metabolism. They're going to give you energy, reduce inflammation, all these things that are at the root of so many chronic diseases. So here's another question to ask yourself. Is this going to address my nutrition needs?
So let's move on to our third and final criteria that we're covering today. And that is that it should incorporate habit changes. So, along with sustainability and nutrition, you can't ignore the need to incorporate some sort of habit change. We have found that focusing on the how to get it done and stay on track has been a huge game changer for our clients. So chances are you have a pretty good idea of what to eat and what not to eat, but unfortunately, falling back on old habits have brought back old results, right? And while we're often told what to eat and what not to eat, it's rare to be guided on how to make true lifestyle changes. When we focus on new habits, everything becomes easier. So what are some examples of these habit changes? We want to give you a few examples so you can get started or at least start thinking about it. First is increased awareness of true hunger and fullness cues. So many women we work with eat by the clock or their environment, where they are triggered to eat from outside forces like the seafood diet, seafood, eat it. So we guide women to tune in what we call their BAM, or body awareness muscle. And in that case, when they're tuned in, they learn to eat according to internal cues instead. And this is so important. Another is learning to eat mindfully. And we have to admit, this is not easy and it does take a lot of practice. It's a powerful strategy that is another game changer when it comes to overeating. So this includes slowing down when you're eating, taking time to eat, chewing well. We have a whole section on mindful eating in our Simply Nourished program, but just slowing down and thinking about chewing is a great way to get started. Habit changes also include the art of planning ahead and keeping your kitchen well stocked with the right foods. And this is vital as it makes the whole meal process so much easier and eliminates the need to I'll pick up something fast. That tends to throw a lot of people off track. And also, tying new habits to old ones also makes things so much easier to incorporate. So for example, when you're cleaning up from dinner, which chances are you do every day, You also pack lunch for the next day, so your lunch is good and ready to go when you have to leave in the morning or before, if you're working from home, before you eat. So, getting back to the third criteria, what you want to do is ask yourself, is this going to show me how to incorporate new habits so I don't fall back on old ones?
Okay, in summary, 99.9% of the time, we can promise you that it is not necessary to go on an extreme depriving diet. We have had many, many clients succeed with way less restriction, following good, healthy eating habits, allowing themselves some wiggle room, incorporating habit changes, and finding that this is something they can do long term. And then it's very, very freeing. They're not constantly looking squirrel, squirrel for the next best fad diet and just settling into good, healthy new eating habits that keep them healthy long term. So, you really need to think about these three things: the sustainability, the nutrition needs, the habit changes. Now, we take all of these into account and a lot more in our 3 month Simply Nourish Solutions program, which is a truly, truly remarkable holistic program. And the transformations we've seen with the women that we've brought through this are amazing. If you're interested, we currently have some spots available, and we're going to put a link in the comments below. That being said, whether that program is right for you or not, we really want you to think about what we discussed today. If you're looking for a diet, think about the diet in the sustainable terms, not the short term fix. Is it going to take into account your nutrition needs as you age? Will it address changing habits from the ground up so that you can make changes that give you permanent results versus quick fixes that leave you back where you started? So if this resonates with you, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on all our future videos. We have so many fun videos to share with you, and we're here to help you navigate the post 50 years feeling amazing inside and out.